General Rick Hillier denied reports that a Leopard 2 tank that was struck by an IED was a write-off, insisting that the tank has been repaired and is once again in use. The Taliban have been engaged with some of the new Leopard 2 tanks in several ambushes, and that as a result the Taliban learned some very harsh lessons and lost the battle in question very quickly and very violently. 180. In October 2007, Denmark deployed Leopard 2A5 in support of operations in southern Afghanistan. The Danish tank unit, drawn from the 1st Battalion of the Jibsk Dragon Regiment, Jutland Dragoons Regiment, 181, was equipped with 3 tanks and 1 M113 armoured personnel carrier, with an armoured recovery vehicle and another tank kept in reserve. 182. The Danish version of the Leopard 2A5 is fitted with Swedish-made Barracuda camouflage mats that limit the absorption of solar heat, thus reducing infrared signature and interior temperature. 181. It also has a conventional driver's seat bolted on the floor of tank, whereas in the Canadian 2A6M, as part of the mine protection package, the driver's seat has been replaced by a dynamic safety seat. 183, which is a parachute harness-like arrangement that the driver wears around his hip. This way, the driver does not have any contact with the hull except on the pedals and is out of the shockwave area of exploding landmines or IEDs. In January 2008, Danish tanks halted a flanking maneuver by Taliban forces near the Helmand River by providing gunfire in support of Danish and British infantry from elevated positions. 184. On 26 February 2008, a Danish Leopard 2 was hit by an explosive device, damaging one track. No one was injured and Thetank returned to camp on its own for repairs. 185. The first fatality suffered by a crew operating a Leopard 2 happened on the 25th of July 2008. A Danish Leopard 2A5 hit an IED in Helmand province. The vehicle was able to continue 200 meters, 656 feet, before it halted. 186. 3 members of the 4-man crew were able to escape even though wounded, but the driver was stuck inside. On-site treatment by Danish medics could not save him. The vehicle was towed to Forward Operating Base, FOB, Atoll, and then later to FOB Armadillo for investigation and possible redeployment. During the same contact with Taliban forces, a second tank was caught in an explosion but none of the crew were wounded. 186. Beginning on the 7th of December 2008, Leopard 2 tanks took part in Operation Red Dagger, firing 31 rounds in support of coalition troops as they recaptured Nadrli district. A press release from the British Ministry of Defence praised the tank's fire accuracy and mobility, claiming the Leopard 2 was a decisive factor in the coalition's success. 187. Turkish intervention in Syria. Turkey operates 354 Leopard 2A4 tanks. Initially using other tank types including upgraded M60s, in December 2016 Turkey deployed a number of Leopard 2A4s to the Syrian civil war against Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIS, as part of Operation Euphrates Shield. Initially, 3 of the Turkish Leopard 2A4s operating in Syria were destroyed or damaged by ISIS using anti-tank missile systems, possibly Fagata-Conquer's anti-tank guided missiles obtained from Syrian or Iraqi army captured stocks. In mid-December 2016, 2 2A4 tanks were captured by ISIS near Al-Bab city in Syria during Euphrates Shield operations. A Mark news agency posted video of vehicles claimed to be captured Leopard 2A4s. 188. By late December 2016, ISIS had captured or incapacitated 10 Leopard 2A4s. These were damaged by anti-tank weapons, IEDs, or other unknown causes. 189, 190. Additional ISIS propaganda images and video depicting several completely destroyed Leopards, some with their turrets blown off, were published in January 2017. 191. Tanks which suffered the worst damage may have been destroyed by airstrikes in order to prevent capture, but sources generally state that the damage was caused solely with anti-tank missiles or car bombs driven by suicide bombers. 192, 193. In January 2017, the German newspaper Die Welt reported that ISIL fighters used 9 M133 Kanat anti-tank missiles to destroy 6 Leopard 2 tanks used by the Turkish military in Syria. 194. At least 8 Leopard 2 MBT have been destroyed according to photographic reports. 195. Turkey also confirmed the use of Leopard 2A4 tanks during the Turkish military operation in Afrin to the German government. These tanks were designed during the Cold War to fight against Soviet tanks in Europe, not counterinsurgencies against guerrillas, where the primary risk is improvised explosive devices and anti-tank missiles. These tanks were retired from German usage when sold to Turkey. 196, 197. There is a belief that the Turkish purchase of Leopard 2A4s from Germany was subject to the condition that they were not to be used against Kurdish separatists. Prior to 2016, the Leopard 2A4s were kept in northern Turkey. Once the German government discovered that the Leopard tanks were being used against Kurdish forces, planned upgrades to make them less vulnerable to explosives were halted. Ultimately, Turkey was forced to upgrade the Leopard 2A4s with domestic components, including a possible replacement of the original turret with that of the Turkish Altay main battle tank. 196, 198, 199, 200. Russo-Ukrainian War. In April 2023, during training of a Ukrainian crew, a Leopard 2A4 was damaged with its turret being completely dislodged from the hull. The crew was reported as fine. 201. In July 2023, a Leopard 2A4 was modified to carry Contact 1 era on the sides of the hull and the turret. It was also shown with rubber screens attached to the turret and gun mantle. 109, 202, 203, 204. Beginning in June 2023, Ukraine deployed Leopard 2s during the Russo-Ukrainian war against Russia in preparation for their 2023 counteroffensive. During Ukrainian attacks in Zaporizhzhia Oblast on 8 June 2023, a Russian artillery strike on a Ukrainian vehicle column at Novopokrovka destroyed at least 1 Leopard 2A4 tank. 205. Additionally, more Russian drone footage from the same day and days after showed 4 Leopard 2A6 tanks and 3 Leopard 2RS damaged or destroyed south the road of Malatok-Machka. 206. On the 28th of August 2023, Russia's defense minister Sergei Shoigu claimed that Russian forces had destroyed or damaged all 16 Leopard 2A4 tanks supplied to Ukraine by Poland and Portugal. 207. On the 30th of October 2023, a video shows one Stridswagen 122 tank was hit and destroyed by the Kanat. A Kanat missile's 10-pound warhead can punch through more than 1.000 mm of armor behind ERA, and even a Stridswagen 122, one of the best protected tanks, cannot survive after being hit a missile. The crew was seen escaping the struck vehicle. 208. As of the 27th of December 2023, according to the Oryx blog, at least 15 Ukrainian Leopard 2s were destroyed according to photos and videos. 4 Leopard 2A6, 1 Stridsvagn 122, 2 Leopard 2A4, 5 Leopard 2A4V, 1 Leopard 2R, 2 Bergepans A3, while another 19 Ukrainian Leopard 2S of various models were confirmed damaged to various degrees, with 10 of them being classified as abandoned by their crews, 7 Leopard 2A4/2A4V with 3 of them being abandoned, 7 Leopard 2A6, with 4 of them being abandoned, 3 Stridsvagn 122 all of whom were also abandoned and 2 Leopard 2R.209. Totally, at least 25 Leopard 2Rs and 9 more took damage requiring repair but are confirmed to have been recovered. The Oryx's list only includes destroyed or damaged equipment of which photo or videographic evidence is available. Thus amount of equipment lost could be higher than Oryx documented. 210, on the 4th of October, 2023, according to Forbes. Ukrainian forces managed to recover at least one STRV-122 and have sent it to be repaired. 211, variants. Leopard 2. 2 German Army Leopard 2s demonstrate their deep-wadding capabilities. The baseline Leopard 2, sometimes informally called the R0, differentiated from later versions, was the first series manufactured version. The vehicles were manufactured from October 1979 until March 1982, altogether 380 vehicles. 209 were built by Kraus Mafia and 171 by Mark A. The basic equipment consisted of electrical hydraulic stabilizer WNAH-22, a fire control computer, a laser rangefinder, a wind sensor, a general-purpose telescope EMS-15, a panorama periscope PRR-17, the gunner's primary sight FEROZ-18, on the turret roof as well as a computer-controlled tank testing set RPP-18. 200 of the vehicles had a low-light enhancer, PZB-200, instead of thermal imaging. 2 chassis served as driver training vehicles. Leopard 2A1. Minor modifications and the installation of the gunner's thermal sight, 1, were worked into the second batch of 450 vehicles. Leopard 2, designated the A1. Kraus Mafia built 248, chassis NR 10,211 to 10,458, and Mac built 202, chassis NR 20,173 to 20,347. Deliveries of the 201 models started in March 1982 and ended in November 1983. The 2 most notable changes were the modification of the ammunition racks to be identical to those in the M101 Abrams, and redesigned fuel filters that reduce refueling time. A third batch of 300 Leopard 2, 165 by Kraus Mafia, chassis NR 10,459 to 10,623, and 135 by Mark A, chassis NR 20,375 to 20509, was built between November 1983 and November 1984. This batch included more minor changes that were later retrofitted to the earlier 201S. Leopard 2A2. This designation was given to upgraded vehicles of the first batch of Leopard 2S, brought up to the standard of the second and third batches. This modernization gradually replaced the original PZB-200 sights in the first batch with thermal sights for the EMS-15 as they became available. The upgrade included the fitting of filler openings and caps to the forward hull fuel tanks to allow separate refueling. There was an addition of a deflector plate for the periscope and a large cover plate to protect the existing NBC protection system. The tank was given new 5-meter towing cables with a different position. The program began in 1984 and ended in 1987. The third, fourth and fifth batches, which were produced during this period, had the same features. The modernized first batch can be recognized by the circular plate covering the hole where the crosswind sensor for the fire control system was removed. 212, Leopard 2A3. The fourth batch of 300 vehicles, 165 by Kraus Mafia, chassis NR 10624 to 10788, and 135 by Mark A, chassis NR 20510 to 20644, was delivered between December 1984 and December 1985. The main change was the addition of the SEM80/90 digital radio sets, also being fitted to the Leopard 1 at the same time, and the ammunition reloading hatches being welded shut. Even with these minor changes, the new batch was known as the 2A3. Leopard 2A4. Early Dutch Leopard 2 tanks in 1986. The most widespread version of the Leopard 2 family. The 2A4 models included more substantial changes, including an automated fire and explosion suppression system, an all-digital fire control system able to handle new ammunition types, and an improved turret with flat titanium/tungsten armor. The Leopard 2S were manufactured in 8 batches between 1985 and 1992. All the older models were upgraded to 2A4 standard. Until 1994, Germany operated a total of 2,125 2A4s, 695 newly built and the rest modified older versions, while the Netherlands had an additional 445 tanks. The 2A4 was licensed and manufactured in Switzerland as the Panzer 87 Leopard or PZ-87. This version included Swiss-built 7.5mm MG-87 machine guns and communications equipment and featured an improved NBC protection system. Switzerland operated 380 PZ-87 tanks. After 2000, Germany and the Netherlands found themselves with large stocks of tanks that they had none for after the Cold War. These tanks were sold to NATO or friendly armies around the world. Among these buyers of the surplus tanks were Turkey, purchasing 354 vehicles, Greece, 183, Sweden, 160, Chile, 140, Finland, 139, Poland, 128, Austria, 114, Spain, 108, Canada, 107, Indonesia, 103, Singapore, 96, Norway, 52, Denmark, 51, and Portugal, 37. 213, an Austrian Leopard 2A4 gunner S cites the PZ-87W, Waterhaul is a planned Swiss modification and upgrade of the PZ-87. 214. The modification significantly improves protection through the addition of the Leopard 2A6 MS mine protection kit, thicker armor on the front glasses, and a turret equipped with a Swiss-developed armor package using titanium alloy. The turret roof armor is improved and the smoke grenade launchers are redesigned. Further improvements enhance survivability and combat capabilities, such as a turret electric drive similar to the Leopard 2A5, a driver rear-view camera, an independent weapons station for the loader, and enhanced command and control systems. The fire control system is upgraded, using the Carl Zeiss Optronics GmbH Peri R17A2 fire control system. A remote weapon station containing a fully stabilized MG64 0.50 in 12.7mm machine gun is fitted to the tank. The Swiss company RUAG offered an upgrade package for PZ-87 main battle tanks to meet a possible requirement of the Swiss Army for improved protection. It is fitted with a new modular composite armor package. Armor modules can be tailored to provide enhanced protection against a specific threat. Damaged modules can be easily replaced in field conditions. Upgraded tanks are less vulnerable to direct hits, anti-tank missiles, RPG rounds, mines, and IEDs. The vehicle received new sensors such as a sniper detection sensor and a laser warning receiver. 200